Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are back and we are live on today's Kev Baker Show. I'm sure a lot of you will be glad to know that it's another live show here today after a long week. And I want to thank everyone for sending their love, their prayers, their support to me, but in particular to Anne. And she's staying strong, ladies and gentlemen, and I think your messages, your support has gone a long way to helping her during this really awful time. But tonight we get back in the saddle, we go full stream ahead, and it's back to business here on KBS. And for those of you who don't know, I am both Kev and Dave Baker, and I come to you from under the data dome of Smart City, Glasgow. Yes, indeed, and we go all the way around the world from America to Australia, and I would like to think everywhere else in between, thanks to Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, your number one network where we give you protection from deception and where silence is consent. And what a way to get back in the saddle today, because we're going to be talking all about the mystic moon. Yes, it's the harvest full moon, and full moons on the Kev Baker Show mean one thing. We get the delights, we get the raw truth that comes from our good friend, our resident astrologist, Scary Mary Dusina. Yes, indeed. I call her Scary Mary affectionately because she's a bit like Anne, actually. She says it how it is. She will tell you how she sees it. She takes no prisoners. She pulls no punches. And I really, really love it when she comes onto the show. And so do all of you, because we'll be opening up the phone lines in part 2 of the show today, because last time there was such an overwhelming response. We might just need to keep the phones open a little longer tonight. But for those who don't know, Mary is a star shaman, psychic, tarot reader, astrologer, mystic, and a whole lot more. She was born on Halloween, no less, and did the first psychic call-in show in the Tampa area in the 1980s. You can also find out more about what Mary does and offers over on her website, marydusina.com. That's Mary, D-U-S for sugar, I-N-A.com. So without any further ado, let us go to our mountain lady. It's Mary. How you doing?
Bless you, Kevin, and bless your sweet Anne. And I also concur with the audience sending those energetic waves and those frequencies of support and serenity whenever anyone goes through a period of earthly transition or loss. And I've heard a lot about that, both with animal and human, since our last full moon show. It's a reckoning. Emotionally, it becomes a high tide, between full moon to full moon, when we have our worlds rocked by all of a sudden that animal, that person that we were in touch with on a frequent basis, or maybe sometimes it's been a while, and then other times it can be like a sudden leaving, like a sudden win. They're there today, gone tomorrow. So it certainly brings us into a focus of looking at what the real earth currency is, Kev, the real earth currency of who and what are the treasures in our life. That's real worth. That's real value when we know those, our tribe, our family or otherwise, our true soul tribe are those people that, whether it's high tide or low tide, they are consistent in their support and they're consistent in their sweetness to whatever travails we're going through. So again, salute to Anne.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Now, you were telling me that, well, you mentioned before the show the fact I worked with Bill Bean. Myself and Bill, we've often said that the paranormal, as each month goes by, becomes more normal than paranormal. And you were saying to me that you've noticed in your actual work, the people you're speaking to as well, and you expect Bill is the same. And I can tell you it is the same for Bill. But it's almost as if there's a shadow emerging, some kind of dark force, for lack of a better term. Could you speak to the audience about that, Mary?
I will. I want the listeners, whether it's on the replay or live with us today, to understand that there has been a divisive reckoning that actually has been a seasoning. There's a seasoning we've been going through in our soul soup recipe. Sometimes if you add too much cinnamon to a cake mix or to a pumpkin pie, or too much salt or pepper to your stews or your porridges or the things that you're making, it's an overwhelm of that particular spice or element that you put in there. And it's as if we've had an amplification of both temptation and the Truth Frequency Network's motto, your protection from deception. So this from last full moon, which is in the sign of Aquarius, which is about the awakening. We've kind of been force-fed, some through loss, some through sudden shocks, some through aberrant pesterings and hauntings and the poking of the tiger in the cage, so to speak. I've had many people talk to me about, I'm just going about having my normal life, and then when I've had a little restless sleep, then when I finally go into a deep sleep, it's like I'm being chased or I'm being taunted or I'm being pestered by things that feel dark or feel, and they'll say, I'm just going to say the word, they feel not nice, they feel demonic, they feel shadowy. And so I feel like that when we come to this full moon, this beautiful mystical Pisces harvest moon, the Pisces is the 12th sign of the Western zodiac, and Pisces is about the multi-faceted myriad of the universes of emotions set into motion. So it's more than the subconscious, it's the superconscious, and it's like an automatic feast of how can the divine serve you. So if you find that you're whining and you're complaining and you're feeling like you're dealing with health issues or psychological challenges or boots on the ground frustrations, it seems like there's a stick going into the wheel of the wheel going forward. There's a couple of things that are going on in the celestial mechanics of things. We've got 6 planets retrograde, so even that speaks to when planets are retrograde.
Retrograde? Oh no! Don't tell me it's Mercury retrograde.
No, Mercury retrograde's on the 26th of September. Then we'll have, counting the asteroids, we'll have like 7 retrogrades. But what's happening is we've got like the top players of the outer planets. We've got Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto retrograde, and I'll speak in early October when they'll start turning around, when we have Mercury, which is our communication agent, on September 26th, plus the herald here of the harvest moon in Pisces before we get to equinox on the 22nd. All of these things are saying, like it says biblically, take ye apart a while and rest. Suffer the innocent unto me. Let it go. Full moons are always about releasing the angst and the stress and the haunt and the pressure. But Kev, we two-legged human creatures, we slip on the skin of a human, and we tend to get habituated, and we don't like change. We tend to resist change. And so male and female will complain, will whine. Why does she say those things? Why won't he do this? Why don't they love me? Why do I feel left out? Why do I seem to make all the effort? And, you can talk to the therapist, you can talk to the intuitive, you can deal with the life coach, you can watch some great trainings on a lot of the internet networks, you can hear great people being interviewed by Kev and other people, but you've got to do the work. We're in Virgo, and Virgo is always about big dreams, small steps, one step at a time. And so this is like, what steps you got to start somewhere. So if you're truly not just repeating the same mantra all the time, and I find a lot of clients, Kev, when I point out to them, stop thinking that the law of attraction is just snap your fingers and it happens. You have to own where you're giving the most of your psychological and verbal, words have power, verbal and emotional energy to what's not right in your life. If you're giving more energy, frequency, and attention to what you don't like about your life and the current transiting things that are orbiting around you, you're giving that a lot of fuel. And so the law of attraction, in the highest sense, brings back to you with the infinity. It brings back to you what goes forth with you will come back to you. What goes forth from you will cycle back to you, like the celestial boomerang, the divine boomerang, the infinity what you're giving a lot of attention and energy to is what's going to manifest back to you. And I find that people get resistant to owning the fact that, did you listen to what you just said? Did you listen to, put a recording on, record yourself on your phone on how you're complaining and how you're whining and how, you keep going on and on with that, and you've gotten into a habit of the frustration rather than enlisting. This Pisces moon and coming into equinox is about enlisting divine source, calling in the sacred frequencies. So whether you want to do that through color or music or prayer or ceremony or standing by the sea or going out and gazing at the clouds, the birds, that just sitting in quietude, art is good therapy, and just simply say, I'm so weary. I'm so weary of trying to control and direct this and try to find a resolution myself. Maybe if I just invite in. Why don't I invite in my sacred divine agent? Why don't I go sailing, like you said, we're going live stream? Why don't I get into my soul boat, and why don't I invite in the Christ frequencies, the Holy Ghost? If you're Buddhist, whatever it is, try to align yourself. Great spirit, great mystery, walk in nature. We're divine creatures here on the Mother Earth. So get out in Mother Earth, put down the technical gadgets, put them down. Leave your cell phone at home. Don't go walk in nature with your cell phone. Stay close to your residence in case there would be some kind of important call. We did have life without them, if you remember, in the 90s. So just go out into nature, even if it's just your own yard.
It's that
But leave
balance,
it
Mary, right? It's finding that balance, isn't it?
Well, it's like if we're so distracted with the black screens in our life and the AI and the algorithms tracking everything and that radiation and the electromagnetic artificial intelligence, how is Mother Nature going to get our full attention if our head's down? How are the heavenlies going to come in if we're always scrolling and clicking like and posting and disagreeing and quarreling about things? United we stand. Divided we fall. So it's time for us to get united in universal consciousness. And for me, as you know, anybody that knows me, for me, I call in my alignment and my allegiance with the Holy Ghost, with the Holy Spirit. And right now with this Pisces full moon, the archangel of the seraphim of the highest ray, Uriel, some pronounce it with a Y, depending on where you're from in the world, Uriel, but it's limitless light. The U-R is light. And when you get to the Hebraic and the Aramaic of the L, that's of God or with God. So Archangel Uriel works in tandem with Archangel Michael and has to do, if you will, like a soul battery. It's like the backup battery of light. So Uriel is limitless light. Now, if somebody just wants to find something to argue with, rock on. But limitless light could help any shadow or demonic temptation or beguilement or bewitchment that you've got going on around you, no matter what the frustration is, be it human or a spirit essence. If you call in, Pisces moon is a great time for you to get a little more familiar with the Ophanim, the Seraphim, the region of the sacred guardian angels and the archangels. This is a wonderful time to do a little bit, Virgo, study, because this is still the Virgo-Pisces polarity until we get to equinox, which we switch to Libra Aries. So we're going to go into more of an Action Jackson type of a cycle once we get into the latter part of September, and the next full moon will be in Aries. That's a take action full moon. But those of you that live in a vortex, in a region that's pretty much ruled, if that state or that country was incorporated under the signs of Virgo or Pisces, like California here in America is Virgo, Florida is Pisces. Here in the mountains it's raining, and Pisces is the final of the trinity of water signs. So it's mainly oceanic, but it's the element of the mist of Avalon, of the Lady of the Lake, of the oceanic mysteries of Neptune, Poseidon, ruling that. And this full moon joins with the Greek and the Roman legends of Poseidon, Neptune. So this is the mysteries of the sea. So this then interprets, Kev, and your audience, to what is it about the mysteries of thee and me that we need to SEE?
Well, Mary,
so this is about seeing.
Yes, and I always like to pay attention so I can take notice of and find synchronicities. I find synchronicities are almost like, in my mind, the universe giving you a tip of the hat. saying you're on the right track. And I tell you, talk
Yes.
about serendipity here. We've got somebody, I don't recognize the name at all. His name's Jonathan Grissom over on YouTube. But he has put in there, and this is very relevant because I was going to ask you about my star sign, Cancer. Turns
Okay.
out Jonathan's a Cancer as well. And it turns out Jonathan has got the same birthday as me, only 10
Synchronicity.
years later. I'm 76. He's 86. July 16th. I tell you, if that's not a little marker from the universe to tell us this is going to be a good show, Mary, I really don't
Thank you.
know what is.
Well, it's about, we just finished in the Hebraic Judaic tradition. We just finished from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur on the new moon of September 6th, rolling toward September 16th. We just finished, the Jewish New Year. They eat like apples and honey. I didn't grow up Jewish, but I enjoy studying different cultures. So they have the sweetness of a new year, the apples and the honey. But there is what's called the 10 days of awe. And the 10 days of awe, which can be the front piece of the word awesome. So the 10 days of awe are about repentance and atonement. And then when they get to Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, it's about, they believe that your name then is written in the book of life, God's book of life, or the book of death, about how you've released, how you've asked for forgiveness for anything that you knowingly or unknowingly did to hurt another energy, another creature, another person. So it's not hurtful to anybody to maybe look at where we maybe have been harsh with our words. Words can heal or words can hurt. That's our trumpet. That's how we trumpet forth. We declare and we cast spells with our words, spelling. And so this Pisces moon is about, let me give you the themes of Pisces moon. It's about the light side of it. It's about compassion. And it's about healing. So all of those therapists, all of the people in healthcare, all of the people working with medicinal and holistic, helping people rise up, helping people bounce back from a fall. It's like the circular breathing, of how that physical therapist says, all right, one more time, let's get up on that knee replacement. One more time, take a deep breath. One more time, you can do it. You can do it. And then you get that wonderful ice pack on that former injury, or the ice or the heat pad that they put on you after you've had your physical therapy session. So there's a sense of urgency now for all of us to ask on a scale of 1 to 10. Some of you are just dealing with a 1. A -1, that you're just kind of frustrated and you need an awakening and you're tired of the limbo or you're tired of the stagnation. But other people right now are going through a 10, a level 10 kind of health crisis or urgency for healing. So Pisces is about the blending of our soul's intelligence, the paying attention to, paying homage to what state our emotional intelligence is at. Like, how are you blending your heart with your knowledge and your knowing with your heart, and letting those become congruent with each other? Because what happens is you can have mega doses of awe and truth and signs, to your point, and wonders, because that person, the person that you just talked about having the same birth date as you, it's still the same numerical signature of your month and day. So that is an immediate raise of the eyebrow, like, oh, aha. So it has a lot to do with, isn't that interesting? I always notice if there's an animal or a person born on the day that I landed on Earth. So yes, I think it's absolutely a little exclamation point of this is cool, this is interesting. So we're in a strategic planning right now. Virgo helps us have strategy. So Virgo, and the sun being in Virgo over this last 3 weeks, is saying baby steps, got to start somewhere. It's time for strategy and your strategic planning while remaining in the stealth mode. So Pisces can also be like all the Harry Potter series of books and movies where he was able to slip on that cloak of invisibility. So you're moving about the world in supernatural, holy, like Joseph's coat of many colors. We're able to move now with divine assistance and divine guidance if we will but ask, if we will but stop the ego and halt the monkey mind and the mind chatter and say, God help me, divine assist me. I invite you into this scenario, this situation. I invite you to go comfort my beloved, or comfort the person that just lost their animal suddenly, or comfort the person. Like here in America, we just had a big big brouhaha on the news has been this missing sweet young girl that became a sensation on Instagram, going around all the national parks. Her name is
Gabby Petito. Yeah, I've been
Gabby
following
Petito.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's a March 19th Pisces, and she's God bless her and her family. I just popped on the news last night. I do not know the details. That they're pretty sure they found the remains of her body, but they have to do like the autopsy tomorrow. And of course, the guy with her is now missing, so in hiding. So here she is as a Pisces, and it was noted, a couple of times that she had suffered from OCD and a little bit of compulsory type of things. But in that very rich, for her parents, final video of her being stopped by the police, and they separated them for the night because they were crying. She was crying, and they had some kind of altercation. Her anxiety overrode her intuition. The anxiety of the mutable signs, of the Gemini, of the Virgo, of the Pisces, of the Sagittarius, that if we let anxiousness, if we let anxiety talk us out of what our soul voice, our divine connection with God, our soul voice saying, you need to take a break, you need to separate for a while, you need to end your trip early, it's okay, take a break, you can come back to this if you want to. And yet, where were they both living? In the Pisces state of Florida. Now, I've not checked what Wyoming is yet, where they found the remains, but that's, for an astrologer, when we do back study, when we go back to looking at those birth dates, pretty sure he's a late November, so she's at the end of Pisces, he's at the end of Scorpio, unless the dates are wrong on the internet. That's entirely possible. But when I used to work with police departments, I would look at those, and if I'm working with them now, I won't tell you, because that's absolutely a pro bono secretive thing I do when I work with agencies to help solve crimes. So when I was doing that, I would try to get the missing person or the missing child or the victims, if they knew someone had been harmed, their birth dates, and look at, was it an accident, was there foul play, and then in stealth mode, as I was just telling you about, with the cloak of invisibility, to do that service for mankind, like a nurse, Pisces, a hospital, a doctor, physical therapist. They come in with Virgo Pisces energies. They are the healers, meant to be in some line of service. So right now, even if we're not a Virgo or a Pisces, how might we do something to enlist our services and our skills to help our fellow sisters and brothers?
Very, very well said. Now, we're almost on the break, and I want people, if you want to call in, and Mary can do a reading for you on the air, you can ask her a question, or she can just do a reading on the spot, the energies that she gets. The number you need, are you ready? It's 213-233-3998. That's 213-233, excuse me, 3998. Now, before we go to the break, Mary, I've heard people talking about, and I see people even saying it in the chat as well, something big on the horizon. Now, I always say there's something big coming our way. It's inevitable. But what do you say to that? Are you picking up on anything?
Well, we've got our final two eclipses of this year in November and December, and then we've got that final big thing that's been the theme of how we win, how we will have won in 2021. What will we win? WON. 2021 is almost like an energy of how do we win? What have we won in 2021 after the 2020 year of what we needed to look at deeper, how we needed to see. 2020 can be perfect vision. 2020 showed us, what are we not seeing? What are we not looking at about ourselves first and then others? This year is about how do you win? How do you move from victim or villain into victory? So what's coming, especially I would say around the dates of October 7th, 11th, and then 17th, 18th, when these heavy hitters start going direct, when Pluto turns around on October 6th, 7th, that's always a big deal because Pluto, Hades in mythology, is the lord of the underworld. So whatever is trying to drag us under with the riptide or the undertow, whatever's trying to say, no, I'm the addiction that you need. I'm the temptation that can soothe you for a while. Take the pill, drink some more alcohol, go do this, go numb yourself with some kind of prescription or some kind of addiction. That's a danger of this Pisces energy. That's a danger. So the wake-up calls or the revelatory awakening is coming in the early to mid part of October. I do see that there is mega dates. These are mega dates of awe and reckoning and wonder. And if we felt within ourselves, and we always know, Kev, we always know, if we've had that silent, still voice, some people like to call it the conscience. I think when it keeps pestering us, it's in the divine category of like, you need to change this. You need to walk out of this. You need to leave that. That's what's coming in October.
Hold that thought, and Mary and I will be back after these messages. The number you need is 213-233-3998. When we come back, I'll be getting a tarot card. And then we'll be hearing from all of you right here on today's Kev Baker Show. Don't go anywhere.
This is rebel music. Get upset and get it.
From the dawn of man, we have...
Now I'm going to put on some tunes, Mary. We'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Grab yourself a little drink. For people out there, thank you all for tuning in on YouTube, Odyssey, Twitch. We managed to do it with one press of a button. Flawless. Well, almost. We had to sort the audio in Discord, but a big shout out wherever you are listening to the show. I'm telling you, we are spreading our wings far today, folks. We will be right
Nice.
back. We will be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be going back live to the network and more from Mary Dusina. And we want your call, 213-233-3998. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second part of today's Kev Baker Show right here on TFRlive.com. Also going out on TalkStream Live. Just look for the TFR stream on there if you're ever needing to find us. Today we're also going out on Odyssey video. We're going out on YouTube and we're going out on Twitch TV, and Discord. I'm telling you, I don't think we could get onto any more platforms if I tried, but I really want to get as many people as possible to hear Mary Dusina, because
Thank you.
time after time, Mary, when we open up the phones, you light up the lines, as we've both joked about before. I've never seen anything quite like it, to be honest with you. It's truly amazing. But not only that, you deliver messages that we hear strangers come onto the call. They'll maybe be nervous, a little shy, sometimes, dare I say, even sounding a little down. But by the
Mhm.
time you finish talking to them, it's almost miraculous, because you can hear a vibrance about them. It's like you tell them exactly what they need to hear. And that, for me, in a world where shows like this often concentrate on the problems, the darker things in life, the negative, it's really, really refreshing to be offering something of a solution. And I thank you for that, Mary, truly.
Oh,
So,
very grateful. I'm very grateful, and I'm very humbled and very honored. I've always been humbled and honored to do this type of energetic signature work. It was with me as a young child. I just assumed everybody had it and everybody knew it. And you find out in life that a lot of people have that ridiculed or shamed or blamed or shoved down, or you need to be just like mom and dad only, or just like the particular generational 10 years that you're going through in your childhood, your preteen years.
and think
for
about a
most,
couple of hundred years ago, they would have burnt you at the stake, Mary.
maybe I was, but you know, I have such respect for the beauty of how the heavenly, if invited, can miraculously come into our life, no matter what the trouble, or the bridge over troubled waters. No matter what we tend to stumble ourselves into, or no matter what shocking things all of a sudden get visited upon us of a dark source, or as you said, a shadowy source, or a debilitating source. If we just start with the tool of kindness. Now, I'm not saying that I can't set boundaries. Oh, I can. But if we genuinely, in our spirit, are kind, and not just our truth as we interpret or see it, but as we pledge allegiance to how there might be some higher light or some higher truth or some resolution or encouraging words, not BS. Not just telling people what they want to hear. Oh, there's 80% of the psychics out there that will do that because they want you coming back for readings. For me, and I've said it to you before, Kev, and I've said it on the other broadcasts that I do on Lighting the Void, I look at every single consultation. My clients know this over the decades, as no matter if they get 2 readings a year with me, 3 readings a year with me, they get their chart updated, they do this or that. I sit down in that moment, in the majesty of that moment, so grateful for my guides to be able to come in, for me to be able to, the skill that I have is plugging into the heavenly codes and getting my personality and my ego out of the way. Step aside, let the divine come through, and I become that satellite dish to just be able to give you what the broadcast message is. I don't censor it. And then if someone comes back with a heartfelt, soul-rich question, then their guides, the way I look at it is that their holy guides that they're assigned with and my holy guides that I'm assigned with kind of then can have a powwow, because fate led us to this moment to speak or to enrich each other in that moment. And I'm just so grateful for that kind of alchemy, for that kind of energetic flow, that if someone can leave empowered, if they can reach back in to their God-gifted abilities and their empowerments. And if they want to go do a ceremony out in the woods or on the beach or some type of communion or work with the elements, that's fine. It's all about our intentions. Where are you in the essence and the spirit of things? If you're caught up in the need for greed, or you're trying to beguile or bewitch somebody or own them or manipulate them or hurt them or harm them, then that's coming back to you, and I'm good with that. That's the scary Mary part I'm good with.
Love ourselves, the scary Mary part, I'm telling you now. The phone number people need is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. We've already got a couple of callers on the line. But before we go there, Mary, I'm going to ask you to do what we always do. And if you could
It's
draw
your turn.
me, yes, that little card, please.
I absolutely will. You are Captain Dave. You are the host. Okay, so out of my wonderful gold-foiled tarot deck, you got the Eight of Cups, which is the Eight of Hearts. Not surprisingly, the cups are the hearts, or of the feelings, of the oceans of emotions, and of the water element. And here we have a gentleman in his secret garden out in the valley of the mountains, and the moon, which I'll send you the picture in a minute, Kev, the moon is gazing. It's from quarter moon to full moon. We're talking at the full moon now. The moon, Lady Diana the moon, is gazing upon the man that's on Vision Quest, and he's got his red cloak on and his red walking boots, and he's got his aka magic wand walking stick, and he's gone out to look at the cups that he stacked up. Now the cups have to do with things that are nurturing and that make us feel good, and maybe pleasure or a sense of security. And so he's looked at his 8 infinity symbol cups, and I would say that since August of this year, the 8th month of this year, and then I want to go back 8 months from September, because 8 months back from where we're speaking here on September 20th at this harvest full moon of 20, what we've won, is that you have overcome several stepping stones of anxiety and angst and questioning, and I feel like that you are now into a plateau of gratefulness and serenity, that you dodged several bullets. Some of those might have been financial, some of those might have been physical, psychological, and I feel like that you have turned a corner, if you will, because your next card out of a completely different deck, out of a circular deck, is the scales. And in each of the cups of the scales, the Libra scales, the legal justice scales, and the card says, has written on it, keeping your life in balance. There are some blooming fruits, the cherries are blooming, and there is a flower that's blooming. And so the scale is perfectly balanced. Could it mean the Libra season? Yes. That starts on the 22nd, which of all these cards, of 78 tarot cards and 150 of my circular oracle cards, I find it quite fascinating that you would get the scales. You know, of all the cards you could get, it's not like we're speaking in February. We're speaking right here on the eve of the scales, the equinox sign beginning. So a Libra person, the Libra season, I feel like as you went out in Vision Quest from August and 8 months back from this month, I feel like that a lot of the missing pieces of the puzzle are just like flowing from the heavens, the manna, the bread of heaven, flowing in and beginning to position themselves in your life. And you use the term, all these different platforms, you know, where the show is spreading its wings and it's beginning to fly. Libra is the middle of the air signs. We have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So it's the air sign of the equinox season in the northern hemisphere of autumn and the southern hemisphere of spring. So this is about you harvesting what you sowed the seeds of back in spring. When we come to equinox, we're 6 months away from the past equal day night of equinox, and we're 6 months away from the next one that will be happening. So this is a time of serenity and reckoning. So Kev's looking at all that he's grateful for. It's good for you to take that pregnant pause and take the momentum, the magic of that momentum and that good measure of saying, the scales of saying, this is what I'm truly grateful for, and I'm glad that I didn't succumb to that. I'm glad that that didn't take me underwater, and I'm also very grateful that I'm not treading water and fighting to keep my head above water.
You know, I've been doing this for nigh on 7 years on TFR, a lot longer on YouTube. And I can safely say that this year, and we'll go back 8 months, January, that'd be the start of the year onwards. With hindsight now, this is probably the most exhausted and burned out almost that I've been during that whole time. And, you know, for a while there, because it's hard to tell what's up and what's down, what's right and what's wrong nowadays. All of that culminated, and I had to really do some big soul searching. Do we even go on? Is it worth my time? Is it worth other people's time? And with everything that came along in the past week with Anne and her family, you know, could have gone one way, tip you over the edge and just say, well, that's it, no more big changes. But in fact, something Anne said to me, you know, that her mum would want me to get back to doing this. And the week I've had off with Anne, it's really helped me kind of clear my head and refocus. And done
Mm-hmm.
a stream before today's show. Doing this now, and it's absolutely what you say, because we are spreading our wings. We're not going away anywhere. In fact, we're going to double down and we're going to go even harder, Mary Dusina. And you're going to be with me here once a month to do that. So, with that said, our
I love
phone
that
lines.
pitch and tone in your voice. Bravo.
Yep, I'm telling you, turn that frown upside down. It's been a hard slog to get to this part of the year, but now moving forward, always
Salute.
forward, onwards. In fact, I do have a perfect sound clip for it somewhere. In fact, here it is here.
And if we have any sense, we will try and fight forward.
Yes, that's my favourite Indian general, General Bakshi. Fight forward. Always forward, folks. Never going back.
Absolutely.
So with
Forward
that said,
ho.
our phone lines are lighting up off the dang hook. What an effect you have on the phone lines, Mary. We're going to our first caller now. Area code 619. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you speak to Mary Dusina. So Mary, area code 619, all yours.
Blessing 619. How are you?
Hi, Mary. Hi, Kev. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Blessings to you. Take in the blessings. Just do that circular breath and take in the blessings of this moment that you got through. You're the first caller. You got that beautiful energy of Kev and how he's doing this service for all the people that get to tune in basically almost for free, depending on what they pay for their internet. But you did it. You came into this frequency and this vibration. So just for a quick spiritual kiss, give thanks to your angels and your guides for whatever pearl of wisdom, not just from me, that you're going to bear witness to from your own energies and your own takeaway from this. Does that resonate with you? Do you understand that?
It does indeed. I thank you. Thank you all.
Would you like
very
a card?
much for the kindness. Yes, I would. Thank you.
Oh, listen to the ambulances in the background. God bless them. God bless the emergency workers, and God bless their route and the people that they save. May they be blessed and healed. Interesting. I don't think anything's an accident when we do these kind of things. So the first card that you got is the Mountain Road. So Kev was just speaking about, here's some more soul synchronicity. He was talking about ever forward, ever onward. And so the card that you got, the circular oracle card that you got, is a mountain peak, and it says you are on the road to a success. So where Kev was having the vision quest and the takeaway and that pause for the cause, you're actually in that determined mode of I will climb this mountain. I know that this mountain has a reason and a season, and I realize that when I get there, I get the higher view. And I also am told by my guides that you are beginning to reposition yourself in a way that you're hearing, listening, and receiving more of what, when you were very young, was that voice of wisdom and that voice of protection and that the voice in the darkness that was always like your guardian angel, your main guide. It could be a spirit guide. It could be one of your beloveds in ancestral realm in the Summerland and the spirits. But I feel like with this Hierophant that's here, and it could even be that maybe you walked away from some of your family of origin spiritual beliefs or spiritual foundations or platforms, and you're looking at it with a whole new set of understanding now, like higher eyes, like a new look on an old subject. So I feel like that if you were raised Baptist, if you were raised Catholic, and a lot of people say, that was my parents' thing and I walked away from that. But the fact that you can walk away from it and the fact that you can say, but what is the core? What is the core elixir? What is the core mystery and magic of Catholicism or Judaism or Native American or Buddhism? How do they bring some type of peace and serenity when we've got to make a climb up the mountain of understanding? So it feels to me that you're getting some higher understanding on something that was a former it was a hard saddle. It's like you got to put the saddle back up on the horse when you fall off, and saddle up, get back up, cowboy up, kind of a thing. So it seems to me that you've had a reckoning within yourself, and I feel like that even the older way that you used to look at things, or that things maybe seem to have left you or failed you or not been there, I see as the leaves begin to fall in October, whatever region of the world you're in, or the leaves begin to bud. If it's going to be spring for you, the card that I got is October, and the leaves are falling on this card. You know, the trees are about to show us just how beautiful their colors can be with all the colors that they turn. There's new colors. There's some things that are falling away, needed to, and you're climbing higher.
Interesting.
Do you understand it?
Really. I do, and I don't, but that's interesting too, you know. And I would say that that's true. I would say that what you're saying is true on several levels.
Yes.
You know, which is very interesting and very deep, which is always the sign for me of a very, very good reading. You know, that's the way that really good readings speak to me.
Because it takes you
on several levels.
Yes, and it's multifaceted, and it takes you on a journey. Yeah, it takes you on a journey.
Yeah.
It takes you on a journey, and with this Pisces moon, all of us, but especially if you have strong Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius in your star map. But for all of us, the Pisces moon occurs once a year, mainly. I'm not saying there can't be double signs on a full moon, because there certainly can in some years. But this Pisces moon, at this late degree, joining with Neptune, is saying, listen to your dreams. Take some particular puzzles or questions or things that you don't have answers to. Take them into your dream, like deliberately as you're going into a nap or going to sleep. Take them into your dream lodge. Take them in for being able to weave some answers in the dream state, because that's the superconscious and the subconscious. So work with your dreams, because Pisces helps us with that.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Great call. Great call. Regla, always great to hear from you. And I hope you have a think about that. And I sometimes find when it comes to readings, you know, they're multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and the bits that might not make sense to begin with, give it a week or two, maybe a month. Something will happen and you'll go, aha.
Yeah.
And then it'll make sense. Is that often the case, Mary?
It is, even the way spirit shows up for me.
There you go.
I'll get the sign, I'll get the signal, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to pause it ready, because I know that was a sign that what I've been pondering and what I've been hoping and what I've been requesting as an answer or another layer of where the quagmire might have been, or the twisted place might have been, or an old issue from our past traumas or haunts has come up. I give thanks. I just want to be released from the shackles, from the same old reactions that we do, how we get on the defense, how we get offended, or on the offense. You know, when we break those chains, when we get ourselves free and liberated from reacting and acting in the same way, only because, as you said, Kev, as creatures of habit, we tend to go on automatic pilot. And as we do the one step at a time to become that better version of ourselves. Yes, people, it takes work. You can't be ADD about it, pop a pill, and think that's going to help your concentration. Or you can't plagiarize, or you can't just copy what somebody else is saying on YouTube, or writing a book, or doing a horoscope, and then you just think all of a sudden you've got it. You've got to breathe it, live it, work with it. You've got to work with it. You've got to actually make the recipe in order to taste how good it is when you get done with it. You can stare at the recipe all day long, but until you actually do it yourself, until you actually fix the furniture or get the car and take it for a test drive, you're not going to really know the multi-layers of how all that is unless you participate and take it on. You've got to make a commitment with it to let it both dance with you and teach you.
There you go. So, Regla, thank you so much for calling in today, okay? You there? Still there? No?
She's processing.
I think so. Well, we're going to move on to our next call now.
No.
Oh, you're still there? You're
But
still
just
there?
to clarify, yes.
Well, I just want to thank you for...
I muted my...
No, that's okay. I just wanted to thank you for calling. Yeah, you're unmuted now. You're unmuted. But it was just to say thanks for calling in.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you
Am
are.
I unmuted now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. To clarify, though, it is saying to trust my intuition. This call.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. That is your compass.
Because there's some funny business going on. I resonated very much with what you said at the beginning of the show about this victim thing, you see. And yet, there is. I've also been shown that I have perhaps some just cause, and there's a legal document involved. So,
may I suggest to you?
To the root,
Yeah, speaking of the root, let me cut to the chase and suggest something to you. It's always energetically effective to rebuke any uninvited or negative influence. By all that is holy, by all that is sacred, I rebuke any deleterious or any uninvited or shadow or negative or demonic influences. I rebuke you. Be gone, for you have no power here.
Okay, now we're going to have to move on now because the phone lines are glowing hot, so they are. So Regla, what a brilliant call to get us going today. Thank you for calling in. We're going to go now to area code 347. That's area code 347. Welcome to the show, and you're speaking to Kev and, more importantly, Mary Dusina.
Hi there, Kev. Hi there, Mary. This is Mary Ann Savino from New York City.
Oh, my Queen Leo, my Queen Leo. Talk about a powerful, powerful agent of light and optimism and healing and presence, Kev. This is a gal like yourself that has every intention from the heart chakra to help uplift others and does all the time with her work, with her messages, with her social media platforms. This gal locks it in and puts it out there. So thank you for your time and your energy. Thank you for joining Kevin. I'm Mary. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm enjoying everything that both of you are speaking about. It feels like it fits like a glove for me. And even the caller that came in a moment ago, there's a resonance happening right now. And because of that Piscean energy that you talked about, there's such a deep feeling, like everything feels so amplified.
Yes.
And instead of asking a question, I'm going to shut up and let Spirit tell me something because I have a tendency to yap too much, my big Leo mouth. So I'm not going to ask the question. I want Spirit to just tell me whatever it is that I haven't been paying attention to because I'm finally ready to shut up.
You are just precious. Okay, with you, I've got the symbol, the oracle symbol of a jug, of a pitcher. You know, like a picture when we take that beautiful homemade lavender lemonade and we want to pour it for our ever eager guests. So I feel like that you're literally pouring elixirs to yourself. Spirit's pouring it to you, and then you're going to be sharing that with the meant-to-be's at the feast of being open to a new platform and a new way of seeing and drinking in. When a soul is thirsty, then we have to give it that energetic flow, that drink, the effluvia. So that's the first thing they're telling me. What's interesting is the card that fell right after that is a pail, like a bucket, where chop wood, carry water, and the pail spilled over, like right by the river rocks. And it's like, for you, when you need time to get out of a certain situation, they're saying go to the river, go to the water, go touch those wonderful rocks at the edge of the lake, or depending on your environment where you can get to. Here in the mountains, I love to go touch those rocks that have the shallow water running over them, and sometimes up here you'll see the little lizards, or you'll see the crawdaddies, as we call them. But it's like it's see-through at the lake, or the little gushing creeks, or the brooks, or the tributaries out here in the mountains, and you can see the little creatures that are running around, the little frogs that are there, and how they sing at night. But to go to that habitat where you can actually see the creatures of the water responding back to you, and sometimes the frog comes up and just lets its little eyes come above the water to like blink and look at you. But that's a telepathic snapshot, and it's like, I see you, thank you. And it's like that's an immediate totem type of a thing. But your land totem is the rabbit. And this you don't have to comment on, but it has a lot to do with not letting yourself get preoccupied with sensual satisfaction of another person's, assuming that the other person needs more from you, or with your clients. Maybe clients may be getting too caught up in the physical expectations, or the yin-yang convergences that can happen, and they end up getting a lot of monkey mind, or confusion, or insecurity, or feeling rejected or abandoned because the sexual is taking more of a dominance beyond their spiritual self. As long as we get that and balance. You know, the Libra balance around you, I think you're going to be working with that with some of your clients and people, that they need to have a balance, that they don't always have to get the Restylane and the Botox and the plastic surgery. They just need to be at peace with themselves. You know, they need to be at peace with themselves even if they've had performance anxiety, if that makes sense.
It all makes sense because I've been going to the beach. I've been craving ocean more so than river. I tend to go to the river and streams and ponds, and I said, no, I need Mother Ocean, and I've gone 3 weeks in a row now.
Good.
And as far as the rabbit, that really, boy, that's one of my totems, and it's just incredible.
Hold that thought, and caller, could I ask you to hold on the line, and we'll finish this on the other side?
Sure.
And for anyone else out there, all you got to do to be a part of today's show is dial 213-233-3998, and you will be on with the quite brilliant Mary Dusina. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be right back. 3 short minutes. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm going to shove on some music again, Mary. I'm going to go and refill my coffee. This is absolutely superb today. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Grateful.
Yeah, and for people out there who want to call in, it's 213-233-3998. And you can get a little taste of what it's like to talk with Mary. Something special, folks. I love these shows. We'll be right back. There we go. Hour number 2 already on today's Kev Baker Show with our special guest, Mary Dusina. You can visit her website over at marydusina.com. That's Mary, D-U-S for sugar, I-N-A.com. So, Mary, it's been a fast, quick hour, but I hope you liked that we opened up the phone earlier today. It's great
Absolutely.
having it's great having as many callers as we can. And in the 1 hour that we usually do, I just felt, and I'm sure you would agree, that maybe we didn't have the time to deliver the quality message that these amazing callers deserve. So
They
today
do deserve
already,
it.
today already it's been totally different. You can take your time a little more. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 callers and our wonderful caller from New York. New York, New York. I love the accent over there. Yeah, exactly. See, it's a pretty bad
New
accent.
York, New York.
There you go. See, I tell you, there's something about
If
that.
you can
really
make it there.
Yeah.
The song. Yeah, Mary Ann is the song. Yes. Go ahead, honey.
Yes. I just want to thank you both so much for taking my call, and that those messages from those cards you pulled were spot on accurate. And I thank you both so much, and I'm really enjoying the wisdom that you're both sharing. Thank you so much. Much love and many blessings to you on this full moon in Pisces.
I thank you. I feel like tie a little bow for your, thank you for your patience for us to take the break on your call.
Yeah.
I feel like that as we come into the elixir of Libra, as we shift into this on the 22nd, I call it the L team. You know, Leo and Libra work beautifully together in the celestial mechanics of things. And right now we have both Mars and we have Mercury in the sign of Libra, in the sign of the Venusian energy. So although Libra, polarity to Aries, although they are both yang, this is a great time since Venus and the Venusian energies are all about, Aphrodite and pleasure and what we hope, what we yearn for, what we have a longing about, what love might bring as a feast to our table. How will the feast of love enrich this incarnation? So Libra is the air element. So this is a wonderful time for, and in your teachings, Marianne, to be able to maybe get your clients and your eager students through the light languages and the sound frequencies to maybe just do a little journal as they go into the dream lodge, as they go into to sleeping the physical mind and letting the physical body go to sleep. Then with this Pisces moon and coming into harvest when Libra sun gets launched, this is a wonderful time to write down our top intentions of what we bring to the table of love and loving and accepting love, and what we would like to dance with chance with, and how love can respond back to us. But we first have to show up with what we're willing to give and be open to, and our vulnerability.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about elixirs, because I work with flower remedies, and I just put together a bunch of blends that I needed for myself personally because of these energies. And when you said that word elixir,
Yep.
I immediately felt it. I was like, yes, yes.
You know what's
So
been talking to
perfect
me?
timing.
What's been talking to me is Vetvir and Lang Lang and Patchouli. And the essence of the spices and the flowers of that, and right now in the mountains here we've got goldenrod that's blooming, which goldenrod can be a natural antibiotic, so goldenrod is a wonderful flower.
Right.
Any of the, as you know, the power of flowers. And so that would be a wonderful thing for you to bring also more evident. I've studied it for years like you have, but it's time for the highest vibrational healing comes from sound, color, and the power of flowers. And so working with those three.
It's funny that you say the power of flower is the company that I buy my flower essence remedies from.
Well, there you go. There's your
Wow.
There's your confirmation. And I'll finish with this. For Leo, I say there's the A team in the zodiac and there's the L team. There's Leo, Libra, and there's Aries, Aquarius. And so I feel like, and they all actually are polarities to each other. So for Leo right now, it's an 8th house vibration. The Leo clients that I have, they've been going through like facing off with what transition and death and resurrection is. You know, 3 Leo clients just had deaths swirl up rather suddenly in their life, some aged and some suicidal. So it's just like, oh my God, death has been like my teacher. And I said, well, you know what? When we come to the table and we face the fact that we're in the world but not of it, and we start taking a little daily practice of saluting our spirit, then we don't have to come to the edge as a shaman. I mean, I've come near death, 3 times this lifetime already, so I really don't want to have that as a teacher anymore because it's intense. It's really intense when it's like, okay, is this my time? Yeah. Yeah, is this my time to do this? And I know you know. I know you know. So this is a time for, it's Leo's turn to be able to turn to death and say, thank you. Thank you for really grabbing me by the ponytail and getting my attention, but I would like to choose compassion and mercy and restoration and joy, and for the rest of my days, this is the pact I did when I was 21 and beat death, for the rest of my days, I promise you, I'm a strong girl, I'm all about being that strong woman, but I promise you I'll be a warrior for the light. And I promise you I'll help as many people as I can. They're not going to drag me into their gobbledygook and their psychic spider webs. It's not going to happen. But I will help them as well as set boundaries when need be, because that's what backs off the demonic or the vampirical energies when we set the boundaries going, no, you've got to do the work. I'm not doing it for you. Capiche? Yeah.
I like it.
Amen.
Well,
thank you, Marianne.
Thank you for your call today, Marianne.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I hope we hear from you again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you both.
Yeah, and you live in a wonderful part of the world. I'd love to visit someday. So all the best to you, and I look forward to hearing from you again, okay?
Yes, come visit anytime, dear.
Oh,
Lots of love to you both.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
No, if you go to New York, you have to see Marianne because she knows her city. She's a Leo. I mean, if you go to New York, you've got to have tea and crumpets and lunch with Marianne, period.
Yeah, New York people strike me a bit like Glasgow people. They're real people,
That's right.
Very
That's
real.
right. They have the armor of authenticity. Jawohl.
Big time, and big time. And they call a spade, and I like that. I really do.
Me too.
So we're going to area code now, 908. And Mary, this list is getting longer and longer. So area code,
we'll go a little faster.
Yeah, area code 908. You're on with Kev, and more importantly, Mary Dusina. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
You did it. You did it. We're here. Can you hear us?
Hi. Hi, Kev. Hi,
Hiya.
Mary. My name is Michael Ampees. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay.
And Mary, I will let you decide. I do have a question, but if you feel like you should do a card on me, I'll go with that.
I'm going to do a card because one fell out, and then we're going to take your question too, but we're going to roll through it quickly. So put your listening ears on. Here comes the ride. You're committed to the ride. The card that came out is the Ace of Pentacles.
Okay.
Now, the Ace of Pentacles is the Ace of Diamonds in regular cards, and it opens up a season of the year. Like there are 4 main seasons, okay? Spring, summer, autumn, fall. Autumn and winter. So the Ace of Pentacles occurs at Yuletide. It occurs at winter solstice. If in New Jersey, you live in the Northern Hemisphere. So there's something about your question that there is a prosperity. There is a new beginning. Aces are all about new beginnings. And you're a diamond in the rough right now. There's some missing links. But I feel like from this point at the end of September, as we're coming into the end of September, what will win, how you've won in 2021, I feel like that the ace, you're going to walk through an archway of roses and lilies. And as you go through and go underneath and look at what's ahead on the horizon and be able to shift how you're trying to direct it, or if you're trying to control it just a little bit, you'll see how the opportunities can come to bless you. Now ask your question.
Okay. I have a twin I never met. She died, but I'd like to meet her family.
Okay.
Do you see me doing that?
That feels affirmative. And actually, when you said I have a twin I never met, and she died and she passed, death as a teacher and the twin that you were in the womb with will help guide you on that journey so that what's going to happen without expectation now, let go of expectation. The mere fact that you are led on this vision quest to meet the family is going to automatically give them comfort. You are her DNA, RNA. You're her twin. You're the twin. So you're like, you carry that twin flame, so you will bring prosperity to them. And again, I say very strongly, without expectation, like go and discover that just to bring light and radiance and encouragement to that without you needing them to praise you or applaud you or anything like, oh, thank God it's you. That might happen. But if you don't have an expectation of that, then, no expectation equals no disappointment. So I feel like it's a magical journey. The fact that you got the Ace of Pentacles means that it's a beginning of something that's going to end very prosperous. So I like it, and the prosperity, your first bank is good karma in the spiritual bank. So the fact that you have, and if you do, have the intentions of just wanting to let them know that the other twin shares their interest and their loss and would like to just bring peace into their life. And if they're hurting and they're wounded and they're shut down, don't take that personally. Just know that even like Kev said, sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's a week after your effect or your energy infusion helps somebody. They may not always see it in the moment. It might bring up some pain that they lost the twin, as they see you and they want to greet you, but then it will build momentum after that. You know what I mean? Then they'll reach out back to you. So, yes, I like it. I like everything about it.
I like it.
But I wanted to let you know, there's some sharp curves on that journey because, it all of a sudden can open up their hope and expectation, and maybe they'll have a few bigger expectations of you that you're able to fulfill because you're busy and you've got things. But if you prepare yourself for either side of that, then everything becomes roses. Everything's coming up roses because you know that your intention is just to meet them, and if you meet them, that's fulfilled. So everything above that is the good gravy.
Wonderful. Thank you.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Be encouraged.
Yeah.
Be encouraged.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your wonderful call.
Right.
And I hope it goes well if you do go down that road. And I hope we hear from you again, okay?
Oh, please call back. Please call back and report to us.
I will do. God bless.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Thank you. Now then, if we move on quickly here to,
Yes.
to area
Yes.
code 661. Welcome to KBS, and you are on with Kev and Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hello,
Hi,
caller.
Kev. How's everyone doing?
Oh, I'm doing
Good,
fine.
very
doing
good.
fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very blessed to be actually through to this line.
No, the blessings are all on us, Mary, right?
Yes, absolutely. May I ask you, has there been tears around you? Has someone been sad, or has someone had a letdown? Because I see teardrops. Now, I don't know if it's just tears of joy. Sometimes we laugh and have to run to the bathroom because we have tears of laughing so hard. But I'm seeing tears. So I feel like that when the tears are shed, then that means there's a healing that's taking place, or there's some kind of wonderment and mystery that's being fulfilled. Do you understand why I'm seeing the tears or the teardrops?
Yes, I've been having a lot of, sadness in my life since the passing of my grandmother last year.
Yes. I feel it. So are you able to get to the point of allowing yourself to take that time, and also knowing that she has a soft footprint in both worlds? We come from the world of spirit, and as I often say, not my original words, as I was taught by my beloved medicine men of the First Nations, indigenous cultures, we come from spirit, we slip on skin, and we have footprints in this world for a while. And then as we erase and release the skin back to the Earth Mother, then we have footprints in both worlds. And with this full moon, in the sign of Pisces, this is heaven to earth, as above, so below. So this is a very powerful time, this Pisces full moon, that you could actually invite her for what I call some dream tea. And you're not trying to summon a spirit or be earthbound or anything like that. You always go through the gateway of how you connect with the Holy Ghost or that which is sacred with you, or however you connect and have your frequency plug in with divine, whatever culture or belief that is. Allow that to be the actual visionary guide that invites her to what dream tea is. When we're in the dream realms, I go halfway out of my body from Earth. They come halfway back in the higher heavenly realms that they're in, the higher frequencies and galactic codes. And so we meet, and it's those kind of dreams that we wake up in the morning and we're like, okay, that was no dream. That was real. I can't define it. I don't have to define it. I know that I met with them. And very often in dream tea, they won't look like they did when they got sick or they got older. It's kind of like they choose how they want to show up. Like whenever my younger brother shows up that passed away in 2003, he always liked fashion and he always liked to look good. And believe me, he shows up. He's still got the suspenders and he's still got the pants and he's still very dapper. And so it's just like, oh, you even do that in the dream tea, huh? So, and he was very much into the intuitive, mystical realm. So always start with prayer. Do the invitation with gratitude that you've missed her and you would love to have a moment beyond time and space, heart to heart, third eye to third eye, soul to soul with your beloved grandmother. And I would say before the next full moon, you'll have that. And it's wonderful. It's just talk about personally confirming that they may have left their body, but they still have, without us putting a leash on them, the ability to still uplift us in very high spiritual codes and ways. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And I want that for you. I want you, because in a snap of the fingers in the Bible where it talks about in the twinkling of an eye, it's so going to lift you up with your own beliefs and your own knowing that, wow, all she did was really shed her skin. And although I miss her presence and touch and voice on the earth plane, I just need to maybe adjust my communication skill sets to be able to continue the magic of our oneness. Does that make sense?
Yes, that definitely makes sense.
You can do it. It's through your heart. It's through your heart, and I know you love her.
I believe it.
She loves you.
I've had dreams about her.
Oh, have you?
Where they seem like she is actually there, and she does appear to be, like you said, she changes her image from young to how she wants to be seen as comfortable. So I totally agree on what you're saying.
Wow.
And do you feel the upliftment? Do you feel the upliftment from these divine encounters?
She comes. Yes, I do. Every time she visits me, it's almost a relief every single time. But it's very hard because it's, when you wake up from the dream, it's the realization of no, she's no longer there. But I know she's still there in a different realm.
Let me leave you with this. Give thanks for the fact that you have been able to walk the bridge and meet her halfway on that heavenly bridge. When we lose animals, we talk about the rainbow bridge and how they wait for us on the other side of the rainbow bridge. I so look forward to that encounter because I've helped so many animals. But so what you can do is you just say thank you. You realize how many people haven't even been able to do that yet with someone that they love that died, and you're already having multiple experiences of that. So if I could just gently suggest that you stay in that space of wowza and gratitude, that she worked really hard to do that for you, and you worked really hard to get all your doubts and your shadows and veils out of the way to be able to do it. I'm telling you, it's a huge accomplishment. And so the fact that I saw the teardrops, I'll leave you with this. This is a scientific fact. It's a medical fact. More than our sweat, more than our urine, the tears. When we have tears, we release more toxins, and we rejuvenate the body more through tears, whether it's laughter tears, remembrance tears, ceremonial tears, gratitude tears. When we cry and allow the water to come out of the tear ducts in the eyes, go look it up on the internet if you want to. There are more toxins released through tears than any other way that water leaves our body. So I'm telling you, it's medicinal. And most people don't look at it like that, but you'll never look at it the same way once you look it up and realize what's going on. It's an alchemical, ceremonial blessing. Amen.
Amen.
And I thank you.
Amen.
We thank you for calling in today.
Thank you both.
Yeah, I hope that answer there, I'm sure it'll bring you some comfort, and It is kind of
And power.
bittersweet. Yeah, it's bittersweet. I can
It
imagine it.
really did.
Yeah, I can imagine
you,
it
honey.
myself. You're in the dream moment, but then you wake up. But you've got to take that as a very positive experience. And I'm sure the next time she appears in your dream, it'll be a wonderful experience. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bless
you.
you.
Thank you. Mary, I am one of these emotional type guys.
Good.
I'll cry at a movie, drop of a hat, I'll be there.
Good.
Big macho Kev, but I tell you what, I cry a hell of a lot. But now that might
That's
make
healthy.
sense. Yeah,
That's
because
healthy.
I'm an emotional little guy. So maybe that's what helps kind of balance it out, get rid of some of
Oh,
those
absolutely.
energies.
Oh, absolutely, honey. I mean, it's a real man to me is and I don't want to get into stereotypes, but a manly man to me is a man that will allow himself to let the oceans of emotions rise and just release it. If he wants to just laugh and just be on the ground, laughing and crying, and women will often say, "Oh my God, I'm going to pee. I got to run to the bathroom. I'm laughing so hard I'm going to pee," because we've got our little vessels, but it's just so funny, that the tears, whether it's gratitude tears, when, you see on TV all the time when somebody surprises somebody that was homeless and there's some organization or charity.
I can't watch that. I can't watch it. Oh, it tips me over the
I
edge.
can't watch anything hurtful, but when I see the patriot, when I see the veteran that had lost limbs and everything, and they come from homeless, and all of a sudden this charity has like built them a home and it's mortgage free. I mean, and they walk in and they're like in a state of shock, but it's a good shock.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But we better move on because I'm losing my rugged look here. All of my fans will be getting a totally different. Yeah, we can't be having that. So, anywho, moving on to area code 615. Welcome to the show. You're on with Kev and you're on with Mary.
Hi, Mary. I'm Deborah Curtis, and I live in Tennessee.
Oh, lucky us.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
I live in Hi, Mary.
I hear you.
Deborah
I hear
Curtis, and
yes.
I live in Franklin, Tennessee.
Okay. And do you have a question?
And this is my first time on this show, and I'm loving it. So thank you. Thank you both. I'm enjoying the show so much. I would just love to hear what you have.
Thank you, Deborah, Tennessee. I see with you that there's a good proposition or there's a good offer coming in. What you have is what we call the Jack of Hearts or the Knight of Cups in the Tarot. And I feel like there's an opportunity, there's a flower that's going to bloom, or it's like when it goes from the flower, the orange blossom, or the cherry blossom into the orange, or the actual fruit of the orange or the cherry. And I feel like that you've gone through some kind of like the seed and then the blossom and then the when it finally turns into the almond or the walnut or the apple. I feel like that something is coming literally to the word fruition. And I feel like something is going to be more stable, something is going to be more solid, and you really just want to have peace in your home. You really just want to live in peace and not bother anybody and not have anybody bother you. You really just love nature, and you love just your community and the people in your community, and you really just find a great sense of security with that. And I want to say that as you're coming into autumn, as we're coming into the autumn season, I see like that comfort cup of tea, that great, extra cup of coffee with a little piece of pie. And you don't look at the simple things in life in any other way than these are big moments. This cup of tea, this coffee and pie, you're very cognizant of the people in the world that are going through strife and hard times, and they don't have water, or they were hit by a hurricane, or there's wildfires around the world like Australia had, and then California's going through. You don't take any of that for granted. You're a person that's very empathic. You're a person that's very sensitive to other people's pains or difficulties, and so you don't look at it as just a small, boring thing to be able to go to that coffee pot. Or even people that are in assisted living or in nursing homes, they don't get to go make themselves a cup of coffee whenever they want to. They have to wait. So you seem to be very aware of that.
That is, I'm in awe of everything you just said, because that is, you just read me like a book, and that is exactly my every moment, my everyday life. I happen to have been in a rehab center for 2 years recovering from a fall down 21 concrete steps, and had to learn to walk and talk again, and learn to appreciate each moment of my life. And that was my second near-death experience. So you, everything you just said is just, yes. Thank you, and thank you, Kevin, for this show.
No, don't thank me.
Thank you, Mary.
This is all you, and definitely all Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
And I hope
Thank you, honey. And you know what? Congratulations, because your story and your rise back up from falling from, it's 2021. You fell down 21 concrete stairs. The fact that you're here in 2021 to represent it can be done. You have an amazing way to be a cheerleader for other people now. Go rock the house.
And thank you for calling in, Deborah. That's what I'm talking about. Nervous when she called in, and just listen to that. Blossom by the time Mary had spoke to her. We'll come back with your calls on the other side. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Am.
Okay, and that there was Don Wiskin, and he will be on the show with me on Wednesday in hour number 1. Tomorrow we've got Ben Emlyn Jones for the full 2 hours. And on Wednesday we've got Jimmy as well as Don, Jimmy Jeans. And on Thursday, to round out the week, we are going back down under our alien ancestry, Forgotten Origin, and Evan and Stephen Strong. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these short tunes. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. We'll be back with you. Final segment of the show. We've got 4 callers on the line. We may be able to sneak another 1 or 2 in there. 213-233-3998. Put your call to Mary Dusina. Check out our website, marydusina.com.
Deborah Curat's donated $1.99 through Super Chat.
Oh, thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you very, very much. Welcome back, everyone. Final segment on today's amazing Kev Baker show. We really should call it the Mary Dusina show when she comes on once a month, because I tell you, you really do have an effect on people. And our caller before the break, big thank you, sent a sticker via YouTube for $1.99. A thank you. And she was saying to people in the chat over on YouTube, Mary, that you left her in tears. And I would imagine those were tears of joy.
Tears.
Yes.
Tears. Healing tears.
Yep, absolutely.
Healing tears.
So listen, how about we move on to the next one? How
Yes,
does that
sir.
sound? Okay, we'll
Perfect.
go to...
I've just been sitting here meditating, enjoying the tunes, and recharging my soul battery.
You know they say I've got the worst tunes on YouTube, right? Like,
I disagree.
So do I. You see? As long as I please you, Mary, that's okay. I'm happy
What
with
a
that.
smart man.
Yes, we'll stick with my crap tunes. Anyway.
I like your music.
I like my music too. It's unique.
Yep.
Well, it's not unique. It's from the YouTube copyright safe library. But it is what it is. And it's got that KBS kind of tone to it. And somebody
right.
else who has got a KBS tone to them is area code. Are you ready? 510. You're on the show with me, the craziest guy on TFR, Kev, and Dave Baker. But more importantly today, you're on with Mary Dusina. So welcome to the
Hello,
show.
caller.
And Mary, all yours.
Hello, caller. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, wow,
I can.
yeah.
Oh,
Very
sorry.
nice connection.
I called a few times and it didn't go through. I'll make it quick. First time, long time. I'm a Gemini sun, Leo rising, and Capricorn moon.
Wow.
Just been having some different health issues and things around that over the last year. So whatever you want to do, I appreciate, and thank you so much for your time and doing this. This is so nice.
Thank you, honey. What a wonderful presentation. I feel the first thing I get is that at the reservoir, at the bottom, like where the sand is in the ocean, where the wonderful mud that's healing for the catfish and all that live in the lake and the rivers, at the very foundation, underneath your emotional reservoir and the flow or the damming up of your feelings and your emotions. I want to go back to between 7 and 11 years old, and I feel like there's something that was orbiting around your mother, a lack with your mother, a difficulty that was going on perhaps around her more than you, but I feel like something went in. Something was
My grandma died.
Okay. Because I feel like that the impact, the lightning bolts. First there's lightning bolts of shock, and the family dynamic goes into what it goes into when we have a sudden passing or a sudden loss or a change in the family dynamic. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like at the core of your wellness, we've got to start, when it comes to true healing, you got to go back. All of us. Nobody is exempt. We have to go back to the things that were fractures and the things that we felt like we were broken, or as our last caller who was so graciously donated in tithes to Kev's show, thank you. That's class when you donate. I feel like that when we fall, there's like a fall from grace, like something comes in and it shatters. There's like the Rolling Stones song, shattered, shattered. Something comes in and shatters us, and it's temporary, but there's residue. Like we heal, we bounce back, but there's stuff that gets embedded in the slime and the silt and the mud and the quicksand emotionally. And I feel like if you'll start looking there, if you'll do some meditation, some prayer work, maybe even some on the YouTube channels, the past life work, the deeper meditation, some Reiki cleansing and clearings that goes back to your mother and your mother's mother. I feel like there's something, what Spirit's I'll give it to you direct. Spirit's saying there's a generational curse that can become a generational blessing. You got to clear it. Do you understand?
Yeah, this definitely was tied to family stuff and issues, so that resonates very much.
And then you got the Two of Swords, and I'll finish with this. The Two of Swords, the woman is not bound tightly, but she has a blindfold over her eyes. Now, at first glance, people might say, oh, look at her. She's not wanting to face it. She's in denial. She's avoiding it. But the deeper meaning of any card like Justice, when Justice has a blindfold on in certain card decks, and the Two of Swords she has her swords crossed. You don't want to fight. You're done fighting a fight with this. You're done. You just want the battle to be over with. So the blindfold can mean the answer lies within, my dear. Just dive deeper within. do the tools, do the therapies that help you to go look like the inside of you is that crystal ball. That's a better way I can say it. So I'm done with you because you have your homework. Go do it.
Yeah, no, I'm working on it. So, I appreciate the time, and that just kind of reinforces everything I've been thinking. And when I'm on disability right now and super broke, but once I have more money, I will definitely donate and come back.
Thank you for caring about Kev, because Kev, thank you. Take that Gemini, that brilliance that you've got. When you've got strong Gemini in your chart, all you need to do is point Mercury in the right direction and take that brilliance and that ability to look at several different aspects of truth all at the same time. Like, you're really good at multitasking. So aim your Gemini into going up and eradicating the past and moving to the present and saying, and now, as Kev said in the last hour, I march forward, I move forward in grace, gratitude, and my favorite word, glory. Okay.
No, absolutely. And listen,
thank you so much.
You are welcome
you.
here. For anyone who tunes into the show, it's obviously a massive bonus and very humbling, any donations we get. But you calling into the show, that is of true value to what we're doing here today. So thank you for calling in, okay?
Yep.
Thanks for everything y'all both do. Have a good one.
Thank you, darling.
She had a really kind of positive, vibrant kind of voice. You can tell when somebody comes onto the line, Mary. I don't know, you pick up on energies. I do anyway. How I interpret them, I don't know. But we're going to move on now. Area code 603. Welcome to KBS. And you're on with Kev and Mary Dusina. So, Mary, it's over to you, my dear.
Thank you, caller. You there?
Area code 603.
Oh, hello.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
here.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. And how are you, my light worker friend?
I'm very good. Hello, Bob.
This is from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, New Hampshire. So this
originally from New York. I love to listen to the woman, Mrs. Savino, I think her was.
Yep.
The
Leo Queen.
Takes me back to New York. Well, I just wanted to ask you, because I know what you can do, and I'm about to enter a journey, and I've been waiting for it for a long time. And I was wondering what your vibe was.
I feel like that you've gone over the other side of a bridge and you're successful in overcoming a problem. I feel like that the bridge is I see it psychically, it's very bright, it's like a fire engine red. It's like, that's such a lucky color in the Orient, in Feng Shui. If you have the Chinese restaurants always have a bright red front door when you're coming in because it's that vibrance of the red, what I call the fire engine red. And I feel like your father's energy is very strong with this as well. I feel like
Dad was a New York fireman.
Say it again. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Dad was a New York firefighter. So was his dad.
Wow, good on them.
But I feel like that where you were held back too much on one side of the bridge, I feel like that even though it's been a long time coming, it's like the old Crosby, Stills and Nash song. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time gone, because everything accelerates now into this new momentum of you being able to, and your next card is called Star. Now, this isn't an irregular tarot card. This isn't an oracle card. And the star, this is spelled STAR, but the star is guaranteed success. So the bridge says successfully overcoming a problem, and the finish of it, so the anchor of it, the actual and what would be the verification card is star, and it says guaranteed success. So you have the word on the first card, successfully, on the second card, guaranteed success. So the answer is a big, big moi, yes, you did it, congratulations, salute.
Cool. That's cool. And my daughter, Star, is right next to me.
Hi, Star.
Wow. Okay. I tell you what, there's another one of those really cool accents you've got going on there, Bob.
Star.
We've had a real East.
And I appreciate you, Kev. you're really great to listen to. I've listened to a lot of your shows, and I was a great fan of Ted Andrews, and I went to his lectures. He was from Scotland, I believe.
You've got a good Scottish name, that's for sure.
But I appreciate all you do and enjoy Mary. She's a wonderful being of light.
She really is. And a big shout out to your girl Star as well. We heard her in the background there, so it's great to have Bob and Star
she's
on the
here.
show.
She heard you. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much. Blessings, Star, and all of your children. Thank you. God bless.
Yes, thank you, Star. Thank you, Bob. I tell you, Mary, I get goosebumps doing this show because I know people are feeling good talking to you. And that's a good thing. That is a winner. Always a winner.
But that's medicine. That's actual viable medicine, vibrational medicine. Absolutely. The medicine of the future is vibrational medicine, period.
Everything, as we say here, it's the Truth Frequency Radio. Everything is about frequency and vibration. A very clever man called Nikola Tesla was on about that over 100 years ago. If only we'd listened to him. But let's go on.
He's a Cancer like you. Tesla's a Cancer. He's born under the sign of Cancer.
Well, you see, there you go. I'll take that every day. Let's go to area code 502. You're on with Kev and Mary. Over to you, Mary.
Hello, caller.
Hi. Hi there. My name's Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Bless you, Kim. Do you have a question, honey, or would you like Spirit to just pick your potion?
Yeah, I think I want you to pick my potion because I don't really know what to ask, and I'm kind of nervous.
Well, you can just let go of the nervousness because we love you, and we love being able to give and to help. And I'm proud of you for getting over your anxiety and your nervousness on a very, kind of nervy full moon to be able to write. You're surfing the wave of your nervousness, and you're on top of the wave. You caught the wave. So I applaud you for that. Good for you. See, you did a baby step of getting over it, and that's how it's done, and that's how you start, and that's what takes you over the other side of, I once was anxious and nervous, and oh my God, I called the Kev Baker Show, and I did it. So you deserve to pat yourself on the back and have a little toast of something that you like to eat or drink afterwards. So what I'd like to give to you is I see a prosperity purse. Like I'm going back in my mind, like in the Moroccan market, like in the Middle East, and a lot of the vendors and a lot of the merchants of beautiful silk fabrics, like on the Silk Road, they had the merchant's purse. And so in those days, the coinage was called talents. So the old term for money then was the talents. So part of your prosperity right now is paying attention to your talents, because I feel like that your skills and your talents and your passion of what you want to do, all of us do little side jobs to be able to pay the mortgage or the rent or get the dog groomed or whatever it is, but then we have our passion for what we want to do, and maybe we'll take that dance class as a start. Maybe we'll go apply for community theater and learn about memorizing lines and acting in a free community theater. We all have to start somewhere, and I feel like that's what's right in front of you, and your purse is colored violet. Well, violet is the seventh chakra. It's a very high vibration, so there's a Piscean flow, there's Saint Germain of the violet flame. It's like it's a fire of desire. And then I got the Queen of Wands just to finish. And the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Fire. So it's sunflowers and the lion and feline energy. So you've kind of got the movements and the stealth of a cat, like that flexibility. Do you do any kind of yoga or belly dance or any kind of dance? Because you've got the agility.
Yeah, I just got home from my yoga class. Actually.
Very cool.
And I've done that ever since I'm 42, so probably on and off since I was 18. But in the last year, it's been consistent, and it's what I really love to do.
You're a natural teacher. You just need to shift. You just need to shift from being student and teacher to teacher and student. You can do both.
I know.
Listen to her, Kev.
Maybe I just like the confidence, I think.
Well, so what you do is you tell your instructor that you would love, if she would like a break, if she'd like to take a break, that if she would like you to if she would train you to do like just 10 minutes, just start easy, small steps. Would you allow me to would you train me and would you notice where I seem to be really strong and effective? And could I do like 10 minutes of maybe some beginning students? So, or if you're worried about the beginning students and their agility and pulling a tendon or whatever, I would like you to help instruct me on how I might not take your job, not compete with you, but how might I start to be able to do teaching? Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think your dance wear, your yoga wear, you need to lean into aqua, teal, and purple. I see it.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
There you go. See, psychic readings, right?
Cool.
Psychic readings and fashion tips from Mary Dusina. See?
Kev, you are so Thank you. And you know what? You're smart. At the beginning of the show, Kevin says, sometimes I take notes. Sometimes I always have paper and pen when I'm listening to someone or a lecture or a YouTube of interest. This is a note-taking woman right here. So I'm telling you all, you're very smart to take those notes. Even if you write it really fast and straighten it up later, note-taking involves the conscious and the subconscious mind. Thank you, caller. Get out there and dance with chance.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Honey.
Thank you so much for calling in. And one thing I've often done for years, ever since I went down the rabbit hole, whether it's a Coast to Coast or when I used to listen to Alex Jones back in the dark old days, any show I listen to, I've always got a bit of paper and a pen in front of me. And
absolutely.
Sometimes I'll go back to those notes, but very often I won't. But the writing down while listening, with our concentration spans ever shortening, I think it really helps to solidify whatever it is that you're listening to, and it helps me take it in.
Let's speak about the Dream Lodge, that part of this Pisces moon. I know callers will get to you, but this Pisces moon, I run into a little local dollar store and I'll buy those legal pads, like 6 at a time, and I take one that's right by my bed, and I've got a pen or a felt pen that writes really easy, and I've got it right on top of that pad. So before you can keep it in the bathroom if you want to. If you get up to go evacuate the bladder, and you think, here's what we think. Oh, I'll remember this dream in the morning. This is really strong, and then we don't. I write it down. And you can also write down some inquiries, some questions that you would like answered before you go to sleep, and they're on that notepad laying right by the bed, on your nightstand or whatever, and Spirit knows and your angel knows that that's what you engaged your subconscious, and your conscious mind became one. Because when your hand is writing the notes, that's the conscious mind. As you reread it, as you get your answers and you write that down, that's the subconscious mind being able to join with it, and therefore you break any kind of tethers or leashes, and it allows you a freedom to be able to resonate and move beyond what was the quagmire or the limit.
Wow, let's move beyond into the next call, Mary. We have got area. You like how I've done that pretty coolly? We've got area code 520. Welcome to
such a wordsmith.
The Kevin Mary Show. I think that's what we'll call it once a month now.
That's right.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So 520. It's great to have you on the show. I'm going to pass you on to Mary. All yours, Mary.
Thank you, caller. Do you want a question or do you want a card? Because as you can see, it's tick, tick, tick coming up to the hour, so we're going to move through fast and furious.
Yes, Mary. Hi, it's Mercedes. Hi, Kev.
Hey, hi, Mercedes.
Blessings. Let me say this quickly, Mercedes. Blessings on your work. Blessings on your beautiful husband, Joe. Blessings on your connection with Bill Bean. We love him. And blessings on all the animals that you help, and all the work and beautiful art crafts that Joe builds, and everything that you're wanting to do to fight against the dark forces. I salute you for that. Now, go.
Oh, God bless you. I have just, launched my new show, Unveiling Mystery, and it's just been so fun. I'm not sure what's my next step with it. I mean, and my music too. I did get I sent the music to Bill. I just created yesterday, got it all with my vocals, and he loved it. So thank goodness. So moving forward.
It's percolating, Mercedes. You're in a percolation period. You're in a Spirit's telling me, my angel guides are telling me, everything's percolating now. Like we get the little filter out, we grind the beans of our lovely coffee, put it in the filter, add the water, push the machine on, and the coffee starts to brew. So it's that alchemical, spiritual kiss. It's a kiss of the music, which no matter what all you do and how much you love animals, whenever I tune into your energy, it's about singing. It's about you putting healing out through sound and music. It's like that's your soul star getting out there. It's like the spirit little girl of you, and it's the majestic woman of you, and all the healing arts that you've studied. When you do your song, that's what you want to project. I want to sing, and I want it to heal. And I feel like that's percolating, and I feel like that when you get into about mid-October, like somewhere between the 16th, 17th, 18th, right before the next full moon over the 20th of October, I feel like that's when there's going to be some wonderful confirmed confirmations of actual earth activities and dates and appointments and accelerations of actually you and your husband. I feel like he's going to be getting busier too, because you overcame the odds. You united rather than letting outside circumstances divide you. You got over your own insecurities and your expectations and your need to control it or try to push it sometimes or question it. And I feel like Spirit's going, good. Just enjoy each other and your animals and trust us. We got this, Mercedes. We got this. You're on a roll.
I love this. Joe just walked in, and he's a big coffee person. He makes his coffee every morning with the grinder, so that was pretty cool. And then that's just so thank you. So I probably should just say thank you and just take that and then go with it. I know.
Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you, Mercedes.
Thank you so much.
Go kiss your Joe on a cheek and tell him to have some coffee for Kev and I.
And try and call in earlier next time, and we'll spend even more time with you. Okay?
Thanks, honey.
Okay, Kevin.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you later sometime. You take care, okay?
No worries,
Bye-bye,
Mercedes.
you.
Thank you. And I think Mercedes wants me as a guest on her show. There's not enough hours in the day, but I will find time. I will find time.
Oh, you're so kind.
So
you're such an ambassador. You're an ambassador of kindness.
Hey, listen, if somebody wants to talk to me, who am I? Who am I to say no? And I will just about talk to anyone, because that's what it's all about for me, talking and learning and listening, You're
a wordsmith. You're a wordsmith, and you're a talk jock, and that's part of your talent. It's part of your currency.
I like it, talk jock. I like that. So, we've got 2 callers left. We've got 4 minutes to do it. Area code 313, welcome to the show. Mary, over to you.
313, say hi to us.
Hi.
Hi there.
That's
this is my first time ever calling into a station, so I'm really nervous.
Wow.
But
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Good for you. You set such a nice example for the other people that are shy or a little bit scary clown and all of that. So good for you. I promise it won't hurt.
And
so
listen,
do you have a question?
It's a big honor as well as a host of a show when somebody makes that move to call in. So thank you.
The honor is all mine. We've been a Kev Baker fan for so long, and now you too, Mary Dusina. So I was hoping you could just draw a card for me.
I'll do it, honey. What a pretty voice you have.
Absolutely.
You should be doing commercial work. You have a really, really pretty voice. I like there's actual work in voiceovers, and you've got that kind of healing voice. Oh, goody. I got the sun for you, and the sun is the exuberance of the happy little child, so like the inner child within you, grandchildren, other people's kids, that wonderful age between like 4, like 3 and 7, where, the kid just goes to the door and it could be raining, you're like, whee! Or they see a butterfly, that sometimes as adults we forget, and they're just like, oh, or the kitten or the puppy, they just like squeal with glee. I think you've got that in you. And I see you as the Queen of Hearts, which is the Queen of Cups in artistic cards. And I feel like that you've got some kind of skill or some kind of crafty thing that you should be doing more of. Like I see your hands busy, like you're crafty, like you know how to take some simple things and whip it all together. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's really a pretty arrangement. Or did you make that wreath? Or did you do that? Did your hands do that? That's awesome. So whether it's knitting or crocheting or making wreaths or home decor or something, you're crafty. You've got that in you. Do you know that?
I do actually. I do all of those things. I dabble in calligraphy and all kinds of different stuff like that.
I love
So that's fun.
calligraphy.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, since you're talented with calligraphy, you'll have to come up with doing a wonderful little affirmative thing like your protection from deception for Kev, the Kev Baker Show, like a nice little banner for him, and your protection from deception in your beautiful calligraphy, and then get that to Kev because I can see it. I can see it. What a wonderful donation that would be with your magic, So did you have a question? Because we got to go to the next caller too, and I don't mean to shortchange you, but
No.
I saw that you were crafty. You're crafty in a good way.
And
in a good
thank
way.
you, thank
That
you.
was all.
Oh, thank you for calling into
Thank
KBS
you.
today. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
We're going to area code 231. You've got about 1 minute, Mary. If
I'm going.
that, on you go.
All right, are you on, caller?
I am Miss Mary. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Kevin and Mary. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you,
This is
Mary.
Brittany
You've
from
got about
Michigan.
30 seconds, Mary.
Okay, I see a dog, and I see the loyalty of a dog, and I see the love of a dog, but this dog card also talks about some very serene, nice, pleasurable moments with a close friend, like a tribal brother or sister, and I feel like you need that. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do it.
I do.
Make it happen.
Please,
Extend
please,
the invitation
please,
and do it.
Please call in even quicker next time so we can start with your call. Coming up after the break on TFR Live, we've got Quantum Connections with our very own Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew. This has been absolutely amazing. A big thank you to Mary Dusina. Visit her website at marydusina.com. And I'll be back tomorrow with Ben Emlyn Jones. Wherever you are, make it TFR and dinny touch that dial. And we are still on YouTube. We're still on Twitch. We're still on Discord. We're still on Odyssey. Mary, I want to take this opportunity to thank you. And I really feel quite bad about the caller at the end there. But I would
Don't,
rather...
because they don't.
Yeah, I would rather have squeezed it in, even though it was very rushed, than not take the call at all. But
absolutely.
This is what I'm talking about when you come on. It's one of the shows where I get that good vibe, call it the goosebumps, call it the belly feeling, because I can tell. There was one caller in particular, so nervous, I can't remember her name, I apologise. I think it may have been Deborah. And within a minute of you talking to her, it was just a total change. Total change, you could hear it in the voice. And the people that we called in today, we had a bit of an East Coast kind of theme going on, right? There was a few.
Love it.
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
Absolutely.
New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York. Yeah, it was like we have, well, and look at that word, the new is in front of it. So you talking about the shows taking flight in the different social venues, you've got some new wings. Your words have wings now, and you're flying, and people are thanking you for, as all good talk jocks do, you're actually caring more about your audience than just your own personal needs. Same here. You know, we show up when we do this pro bono, and we just want to be able to let it grow on its own, and it's our child of creativity. So there's a freshness and there's a newness with this full moon in Pisces that each of us in our collective levels of life can now bring if we but invite spirit to the table, to the feast.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And, you know, I always promise the audience I'll never waste your time. I'm a consumer of loads of different alternative talk shows, podcasts, and you can tell when the host's faking it or they're putting it on. I hope I come across as genuine as I can, because that's what I intend to be. And I don't tell anybody, Mary, what to think, because on a good day, I don't know up from down. All I can possibly offer people is we provide, you decide, and I encourage everyone to think for themselves. Don't let your favourite show, don't let your host, don't let your social media put thoughts in your head. Be the creator of your own thoughts. Be the creator of your own reality. Turn that frown upside down. Positive all the way. And as my boy General Bakshi always likes to say, I need to find that sound clip before we go anywhere, Mary. Need the pushing forward sound clip. Where have you gone, Bakshi? There he is.
And if we have any sense, we will try and fight forward.
Absolutely. So, Mary, I want to thank you for today. Always a pleasure. When can we expect you back on, and what's the next full moon to look out for?
The next full moon ripens on October 20th.
Okay. And we will organise when we get off the air. I'll obviously set a fast
It's a Wednesday.
Is there any special significance to the next full moon that's coming up?
Yes, everything begins with the next full moon. This is the one that says, please sweetly in your prayers, your meditations, and your ceremonies and your rituals, just let it go. Even as Jesus said, let it go, bring it to my throne, lay it at my feet. So this is about let it go. Trust that divine design can enter your life. And the full moon that comes up in Aries is the beginning sign of the Western zodiac. And this is the Ram. And this is where, to your point of your great Indian sound clip that you play, we better move forward because it's time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we'll have the full back sheet to take us out today, folks. I want to thank Mary Dusina for being here. She has been brilliant. She's always brilliant. You can catch her on Joe Roop, Lighting the Void, every new moon. She appears on there over on Fringe FM. A big shout out to everyone that's doing great work over there. And again, from me and the audience to you, Mary, absolutely fantastic show. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Kev. Bless you and your family.
And for all of you truthers out there listening to this, here is your personal message. Personal message from my favorite general, General Bakshi.
Our battle was in defense of the hallowed tenets of liberty, fraternity, equality before the law. The liberty of a citizen cannot be so easily taken away and trifled with. If you are doing your duty to stand up for the truth, you cannot be muzzled. You cannot be threatened. You cannot be intimidated. A whole slew of cases cannot be put against you. We will fight and we will die if we have to. The truth will prevail.
Oh, amen.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love him.
Good night, God bless, and I'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gents. Ben Emlyn Jones in the hot seat. I hope you can be there. Until then, keep it real, keep your mind open, but not to the point where your brains fall out.